Hello and welcome to Story Dude, the hottest channel on YouTube, where a team of expert story pickers have scoured Reddit and found the best stories for you.
I, 19 female, am pregnant with my ex's, 20 male, baby and he's accusing me of baby trapping him. Please help me, I'm genuinely stuck. I've only recently found out I'm pregnant with my ex's kid. I'm 11 weeks and plan on keeping this child with or without his involvement. I'm in a relationship with someone else, and they have agreed to care for the baby and are somewhat exited about it, as am I, but I'm getting a lot of flack from my ex and his friends. My ex has accused me of baby trapping him even though I'm not. He has been quite hostile since we broke up and very cruel towards everyone. It's like he has flipped a switch. I told him I'm pregnant and that it is his and it's his choice to be involved or not, and that I won't chase after him for money that I don't need. However, last night, after constant back and forth all week, we both snapped and he has accused me and my partner of baby trapping him and got his friend to message me on his behalf and screenshot the messages. I got a text off his dad tonight asking to call me and I genuinely don't know what's been said, but I know he'll know that I am pregnant and I have a feeling something will have been said about baby trapping him. I am scared and stressed and I am trying not to be because it's not good for the baby, but any help is appreciated. ETA. Before I forget, I was on the pill but he was not using condoms. The pill isn't 100% effective as he knew. Edit 2. Sorry, I realize how unclear in my first edit I forgot to add the information that I was on the pill throughout our relationship. Update. He's moved to London and I've spoken to his dad via WhatsApp, so all the messages are still there. His dad is calm about it and very understanding, and in his own words, "My kid is a prick, lol." Wait, you are pregnant with your ex's baby, 11 weeks in but already in another relationship, who tells they want to support? Doesn't sound like a firm basis. Perhaps just think about it all once again. Just for your future. The problem is that you are engaging these folks in conversations. They can only harass you or stress you out if you continue to let them. End the stress and drama by blocking them all. Eject them from your social media. If friends start to get involved, eject them as well. And, FFS, don't respond to his dad's recent text and do not call him. Just nope out with these people. Isn't baby trapping like getting pregnant to keep the man in a relationship with you? You're not even with him anymore? How is that a baby trap? My Tinder date left me to be with a random guy. How should I feel and continue? I, 20 male, went to Tinder date a train trip away from home. I was planning we spend the night at her place and the earliest train left at 7 a.m. I brought my stuff to my Tinder date, 19 female, where we had few drinks before heading to a bar nearby city by bus. Evening went on and we were at a nightclub, where she spotted some friend group and we started talking. She said she had been eyeing this another man a while, and soon they went to the dance floor together and shared some kisses. Before they left, I stayed at the table to speak to the rest of their group, about same aged as I, M and F in 20s. After some time we regrouped and my Tinder date and her knew said they were going to her place. This group said it was okay if I stayed at someone's of their places as my Tinder date was occupied with someone from their friend group. I said okay, and my Tinder date and the guy left, but I was boiling inside. I didn't spend the night as homeless, and got my stuff back next afternoon from her and made it back to my home. I was left by some dude she saw for 10 seconds across the room. I don't know how to even process this. I'm feeling like I'm the guy you dump right after you've seen someone better looking across the dance floor. How should you feel? Pissed. How should you continue? With her, you don't. So sorry that happened to you. Nah, honestly, if someone showed up drunk at my place with an overnight bag, I wouldn't be aroused either. The fact she hooked up with someone else in front of you probably shows that she didn't even consider it a date to start with. Did you ask her if you could stay at her place? Asking the question because I have two friends who organized dates with men and the men showed up with their overnight bags unprompted. This was a massive turn-off for both women. Flushed, they both took it as the guy just thought they would have sex with them. People should really read all ops responses before deciding this woman is shitty. I would actually like to congratulate her friend group, which likely includes other guy, for getting her out of a potentially bad situation. For op, once you get in a better place, I hope you have a clearer view of all this. My late husband secretly screwed me over and now his mother has control of my money. My husband and I were together for about 20 years. He got diagnosed with terminal cancer, and we made an appointment to make out wills, because we didn't want our kid to end up with his mom. The night before the appointment, we got in a big fight over something so small I honestly don't remember. He had anger issues, was extremely controlling, and emotionally abusive. As he often did after a fight, he ran away from home. Normally he would go to a friend's house, but his go-to guys were asleep already, so he went to his mother's house. He set up shop there for about a week and a half, never spoke to me or even his kid. Eventually, after he came back, he told me that he'd gone to the will appointment without me, and changed the beneficiary of his life insurance from me to my son, for tax purposes. I live in one of the few states where that's legal without the original beneficiary's consent. He told me he made his mom the trustee of said money, which she would promptly turn over to me. After he died, I asked her about it, and she said it was for my kid, not for me. Keep in mind I was a stay-at-home mom. His decision, not to mention his 24-hour nurse, chauffeur, cook, nanny, housekeeper, etc. I had no money of my own. Even when I worked here and there, at home or during school hours, that money went into our account, over which I had no control. I did get his 401k because the company policy didn't allow him to take me off of it without consent. They told me he tried, though, and his lawyer was sniffing around it after he died. Pretty damn suspicious that his client is dead, but he's still trying to go after it. Oh, did I mention his mother recommended the lawyer? And her mother-in-law told me she attended the appointment with him, but she claims she didn't. And in his will, he named her as guardian if we died again. The entire reason for wills was so she wouldn't get him. Now she has all of our money and doles it out as she sees fit. She plans vacations for the three of us without my input, and uses the trust to pay for them, because they're supposedly for my kid. She'll occasionally offer to reimburse me for my kids' clothes or school supplies, but demands receipts, claiming she has to account for everything, which is completely false. The trust is written so that the trustee can do literally whatever they want with the money, with no oversight. She could spend it all on comic books and bubblegum for herself, and there's nothing anyone can do about it. If she dies, the secondary trustee is his friend who no longer speaks to me, so the money's as good as gone at that point. I was doing okay living on Social Security, after using the 401k for a down payment on a home. But there were a series of small disasters in our house, and insurance companies. Now I'm carrying debt for the first time. My husband was terrible with money, she is terrible with money. I'm talking bankruptcy and foreclosure, not just being bitchy. Yet she has complete financial control over me, just like he did. We've talked about it twice and she just shrugs it off like it's out of her control. IDK if she's actually dumb, or just playing dumb, but she can absolutely do what he told me she was supposed to do, and give me my money. Again, literally whatever she wants. So it's not on him anymore, it's on her. Which means either she thinks I'm lying about what he said, she knew he was lying to me and supports that, or she has chosen to just do whatever she wants. To be clear, we're not talking about $1 million or anything. We were never even close to well off, and this won't change that. I just want a roof, and some damn respect. How should I proceed? If I go the legal route, I'm pretty certain I'd win, but that's a whole can of worms. I could also threaten to cut off contact with her only grandchild, but that makes me look terrible. I just want what's rightfully mine. I'd even be willing to let her withhold a college education's worth of money, as long as we drew up a new trust that won't allow her or some guy who hates me to have control over it. Should I try yet another conversation with her? My dignity is really taking a beating here. If you read this whole thing, TYVM, and I'm sorry for the length. ETA. I have to say that I'm very pleasantly surprised by all the support. I was bracing myself for accusations of being a gold digger or whatever. There are nice people on the internet. Who knew? I'm thinking maybe I should just present it to her in the simplest terms. Regardless of what he wanted, it's legally up to her what to do with the money. So she can either open up a 529 for the kid with $80,000 and give me the rest, or she can see me in court. This will probably blow up the family, but to be honest, they all like me better anyway. Sorry to speak ill of the dead, but your late husband was a vindictive POS. Definitely get yourself a lawyer. It's clear his mother has no intention of seeing you as an equal in this situation. Do what you need to do, protect you and your kid. You can get a lawyer and get their advice. As for using this money for vacations, you don't have to go or allow her to take your son. That way she can't use that money to take a vacation by herself. Aside from that, it's time for you to become financially independent and not count on this money because, unfortunately, you may never see it. Ladies, don't ever be financially dependent on a man. I couldn't ever be happy at the idea of you being the mother of my children. I, 25F, was talking with my boyfriend, 25M, about having children. We already talked about it before and the situation was clear. I would have wanted children, he doesn't and has always been honest about it from the beginning of our relationship. I accepted it since I wouldn't desire a child from anyone else. There has never been tension about it, it's not a tough topic for us that we try to avoid. We live rather differently. He's very strict, he plan everything, while I don't. Same with our dogs. I raised mine with intuition, let's say, without feeling too much pressure on doing everything right. He had to do research on everything, etc. For both our respective lives and dogs, I've had better results. I work more than him, but I manage to have more free time and satisfaction, less stress, and my dog is extremely well behaved. He's always late, no free time, it's like he's always drowning, and his dog. Let's say he could have been more enjoyable to live with. He always explained to me that the two reasons that lead him to reject the idea of having children are: he's too insecure about his ability to be a father and he deeply despises kids less than 10 yo. I believe him on that, but there is actually another reason. Few days ago, he talked about having kids. He does it sometimes. I mostly listen when he does, and I only try to convince him that he would be a great father. I don't do that to convince him to have kids, we won't, and I accepted it, but to reassure him, as I try to do on many other insecurities he has about himself. He needs to talk about it sometimes and I try to be there for him, that's all. At some point, he told me things like the citation in the title, or that I would be a burden for him at parenting. It would be like raising 2 children at the same time. I should be competent, but apparently he knows I won't. He said many other similar things. It was like a huge cascade falling on my head by surprise for several minutes. It felt like an eternity. It deeply hurted me. He knows me, that I care for him and I accept to do as he wishes on some things. He perfectly saw that I am competent at many aspects of our lives, even more than him, whilst having a different way of doing than him. We're different, but I never despised him for that, even though I get better results than him. I now feel like he can't stand my personality and stays with me by default, because it's comfortable for him, I can support him on many things, etc. I view him differently. I'm not sure to love him anymore knowing how badly he actually sees me. And I feel like shit, of course. He didn't even realize he was humiliating me. Don't know how to recover from it, don't know what to do of our relationship at this point. I don't really want to talk about this discussion with him because it hurts like hell and I feel ashamed at the idea of telling him this while he's looking at me. Too long did not read. Boyfriend of 5 years just told me that I would be a bad mother if ever we had kids, that he couldn't stand me as the mother of his kids. He said all that like it was nothing. I feel bad. I need advice to recover from this situation, and for the first time, I'm not sure of loving him anymore. Does anyone has an idea of what to do in this situation? This relationship is a dead end. Don't be with someone who minimizes and disrespects you due to their own insecurities and requires you to sacrifice your values and desires in order for the relationship to survive. It seems it is time to look for someone who really loves you. Stop wasting time with someone who has that opinion of you. For the 3rd time today I'll go check. Yep, still no man shortage. This man is out of order, you need a new one. That's extremely disrespectful and hurtful. I genuinely don't know how you can recover from this. He's an asshole with a "my way is best" mentality. He doesn't deserve you or all you do for him. His loss completely. You're worth way more than this man. You're also only young still. I didn't seriously want a baby until I was 30. Imagine if you stay with this guy for 5 more years and then realize that you want kids after all. You'll be in a bad position.